There we go.
All right, it's another episode of the Gary and Mark Show, and I'm Gary.
And I'm Mark, and this is episode number 49.
49, and we're coming to you. We're not live, but
we are alive.
We're alive.
And we are alive where, Gary?
We are at DuPont State Recreational Forest.
Somewhere near Brevard and Hendersonville.
Yeah, in the mountains of western North Carolina.
On a beautiful September day.
Yeah, and we are here with the executive director of the Friends of DuPont Forest, Sara Landry.
All right. And the crowd's loving this because they know how important she is to this forest here.
Yeah.
And this is a part of National Public Lands Day, an event held across the country on the fourth Saturday of every September. So, okay, Sara, we are happy to have you.
We are, and what, you are in your fourth year?
Yep, fourth year.
As executive director, so that means you're really good at herding cats.
Ah.
And looks like you got a bunch of volunteers out here today, and they're doing what they ought to be doing, and you got a pretty good crowd. A lot of kids. That's great to see.
And we have seen probably 50 people on mountain bikes go backwards and forwards. Maybe they're the same people.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of people we've known here, or we're getting to know, like Steve Longnecker's over there, and he was actually on a show a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
And he was talking about all kinds of stuff. So, Friends of DuPont Forest, that is a membership organization?
It is.
So how many members do you?
We are rounding up to almost 800.
Well.
Wow. That's more than we have fans, Gary.
I know.
If we could get every single one of their members, if we could get a 20th of them to subscribe, we would quadruple our downloads.
Yeah.
It wouldn't take a lot, would it?
No.
No, you think you could do that?
Absolutely.
You know, because we're free. You don't have to pay anything.
Exactly.
You can hear the Gary and Mark Show on Apple iTunes and Google, whatever, all those places.
Yeah. But how this has grown. In your tenure, 4 years, and let's see, it's only been a state forest or kind of recreational forest for 20, right? Roughly 20. I will bet the numbers in the last 4 years, both in just visitation. Well, you just go ahead and.
Yeah, both.
Yeah, tell us.
Both have definitely doubled, for sure. Our membership, I think during COVID, we really saw a big increase, and I think people understood how important public lands were, to be outside, to be around nobody else but you and nature.
Now, if someone wants to join Friends of DuPont Forest, what's it cost?
It ranges anywhere from $30 to an annual membership, but you are also welcome to join the Buck Forest Club, which is $1,000 or more.
All right,
Gary,
so you got
sounds like you.
Different levels.
Yeah, you should join that, Gary.
Yeah, well, back when I was at Diamond Brand, we were a sponsor. This is years ago. They'd have trail marathons and things here. Yeah, I mean it's good to be back. I haven't been here in 20 years. But, I mean, as far as at this site, Guion Farm.
Okay, because you've been DuPont many a time.
Yeah. Great place to go walk.
I think our listeners, though, Gary is an outdoors person all his life, and he's been all over these trails, all over the state and other states. Yes, you have. He can name them all.
No, I can't.
So, okay, I know Jeff, we had on another episode, and he was saying how many acres here. So, in terms of acreage and visitors, is this the most popular state recreational forest?
Well, actually, it is the only state recreational forest in North Carolina.
Yeah. So what's Holmes at that forest?
Holmes is an educational forest.
I didn't know there's a difference. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they have the trees that talk.
They do have the trees that talk.
Do they still talk?
They
kept them working?
They're not as talkative.
Okay. Getting old.
They're getting old.
Okay. Like the rest of us. Although I talk more as I've gotten older.
I remember hi, I'm Quercus alba. I'm a white oak. Hey.
That's funny. Yeah, so that's Holmes State Forest, not too far from here.
Yeah, not far from
But we are in DuPont State Recreational Forest. So, DuPont, we've mentioned, was a company, chemical company, et cetera, made things. But were they located here somewhere?
Yes, we call it the donut hole, where the plant used to be. Right now, they're doing remediation. So the land where the plant is, or was, is being remediated so that we can eventually use it. Right now, it's closed to the public, but it transferred over to the state into 2016, I believe. So once remediation is done, we're hopeful that we'll be able to have folks there as well. A little bit more parking, a little bit more trails, a little bit more access.
So they actually tore down what was the factory
They did.
plant?
They did.
Because that was a big employer at one time.
Oh.
And a lot of the lands used to be for their employees for recreation, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They would have, the employees would go camping with their families, wake up, go to work, come back, go camping with their families.
Here on their property.
Yep.
So now, in today's DuPont, is there camping allowed?
No camping.
No camping.
No
Okay.
camping. Camping brings a whole, so we're, 12,000 acres, and we have about 1 million visitors.
That's what he said. That's amazing.
Yeah, and multi-use trails, multi-directional. So it's a complicated and kind of very crowded trail system to a certain extent. Camping brings a whole nother level to that. So,
So then, what are some of your duties as executive director?
so
Everything.
definitely herding cats. Although I think my brothers would say that's just being bossy, and I'm really good at that. But we essentially are raising money to do trail projects. Right now, one of our main goals is to have a master trails plan for the forest. We really want to look into the future with 1 million visitors. And as crazy as this place can get during the summer, we really need to figure out a way. Like, we need to look at the entire forest, figure out how we can make it sustainable, figure out if the rules that we have now are still working. And with any luck, if North Carolina can actually pass a budget, we will have some money to make that Master Trails Plan happen. So we'll be very instrumental in getting the word out about that, hopefully doing a lot of the trail projects ourselves. And the other part of that is just raising awareness about how important public lands are to this community. I would say that DuPont and Pisgah, they bring in, I think it's $83 million a year in taxes.
Wow.
When all said and done. So making sure that, people take care of the forest correctly, that the state invests in the forest correctly, and that we keep this and preserve it for the next generation.
So, I know there's a trail map.
Yep.
Because I've seen it to get to waterfalls and stuff. Several. Yes. Okay. So how many miles of trails?
There's 80 plus miles of trails.
Wow.
And then add on a couple other miles for roads and old logging trails.
So today's festival, I know it's a yearly event, and you didn't have it last year, right?
We did not.
So it was exciting to get things open again.
It
but
is.
So that would have been the 20th anniversary.
Yes.
So and then COVID.
Yeah.
But okay.
So
Having it now.
yeah. So during all of COVID, people could still come here because it's open air, right?
Yes, the forest closed in April and May of last year, or of 2020, and mainly because people were coming here in droves. There were just so many people, and we kind of had to get a feel for how we were going to operate the forest and have social distancing, make sure that everybody was being safe. The problem is people would gather, and it's still the same even today. People gather in the parking lots and near the waterfalls, and how do you make social distance? So it was closed for 2 months, and even being closed for 2 months, we still had over 1 million people in the forest in 2020. But then it was open towards May, or towards the end of May, and I don't know about for everybody else, but certainly for me, I was really grateful to have a place to go and forget about COVID for a little bit, be able to come out in nature. And we were talking about Aline Steinberg earlier, and she always says, when you feel blue, touch green.
I like that.
Yeah.
That'll be a good T-shirt.
Yeah.
Good bumper sticker. So, and she still works around? Or
She is retired and lives in Cedar Mountain.
Yeah.
Okay, so nearby. Nearby. So, how do you count 1 million people? I mean, how do you know that? I mean, I know it's estimate, but just based on parking lot and...
Parking lot, and there's counters in all of the access areas and
Okay.
all the parking areas. So there's a formula that the Forest Service uses, and people way smarter than me can...
use those
do that
algorithms.
math. Yeah.
Whatever they are. You ever know what an algorithm is, Gary?
I can spell it, but
I can't even do
I
that.
can't even
I
spell it.
couldn't. That was it for me.
Yeah.
I'd hear that, I'd run away.
So, so I know this is state. Is this kind of a part of the state park system?
No, it's
No,
actually...
it's not completely different.
So it's under the Forest Service, and the Forest Service
The
is...
North Carolina Forest Service. Okay.
And then the North Carolina Forest Service is under the Department of Ag.
Okay. So is there, I guess what I'm asking, I see all these people wearing your green volunteer shirts. Are there state employees that work here, manage it at all, like a park ranger or something?
Yes. So the foresters, there's a few of them here today. We have Jane Doster, who's our recreational specialist. Well, not ours. I take that back. She is the recreational specialist for the North Carolina Forest Service. And Kirsten and Caitlin are also here. Caitlin heads up education in the visitor center, and Kirsten does communications. This is an active forest. So the foresters are logging, and they're studying trees, and they're taking care of the forest, and there's a whole nother part of this forest that doesn't have anything to do with recreation.
Wow.
So I think when they are fully staffed, there's about 24 employees that work on a daily basis in DuPont.
Wow.
Lucky them,
Yeah.
So, just curious, with this nice festival here today, and I don't have to worry about this issue because I'm covered in this van, but do you have a porta potty somewhere around here?
Yes. That way.
That way. All right, just asking in case any of our listeners are coming and wanting to know, because I've already used my facility a couple times. Gary has not. Gary, your bladder's working well today.
It's a good day.
It's a good day. Okay.
Not too much coffee. And actually, hopefully within 2 years, Guyam Farm parking lot will be expanded, and they're putting a bathroom here. So you can see right in front of us, there's a bunch of orange fencing. That's the well. So that's step one. So very soon we'll have a bathroom in the field that we're facing right now.
Well, you got probably 80 million trees.
Yeah.
And if you're far enough off the trail, I guess, if you had to.
Yep, just bring a shovel.
Yeah.
Or trowel, is that what it's called?
I guess, yeah. We don't want to do too much damage with a shovel or a trowel. Okay, but that's better than on the ground, right, Gary?
Yeah, well, I was just thinking here about how when that Acosta Trail, the rail line from Hendersonville to Brevard, I mean, to me that may take some of the pressure off of this, but because of the connectivity also, it's going to be just another, I think it's great. All these different kinds of trails can be used for different things, connecting. But I just see this is, I'm sure you all in your 5, 10 year, however, 20-year plan, the numbers are just going to keep growing. So what a challenge, how to figure that out. But I do know, I'm not a mountain biker anymore, but when I was not very, I never got real comfortable on off-camber trails. I could do.
I'm the same way walking and sidewalks.
Yeah. But I remember running I was hiking up in Pisgah, and these guys had driven from Chattanooga to mountain bike, and they were doing the Black Mountain Trail in Pisgah, which is getting worked on now, and they were so kind of disappointed because it really needed a lot of work, and they said the trails in Pisgah, it wasn't what they thought it was going to be. They'd come here the day before and loved it, and they were saying, tomorrow we're going back to DuPont, because all those nice banked turns, and I mean they're just it's a lot of the trails here. It seems like we're done with that in mind, that you're going to have bicycles, and they're also, how do you build a trail that doesn't have to constantly lower maintenance?
Mm-hmm.
How do you build a trail that requires less maintenance and stays resilient? So
like, since it's become the recreational forest, so a lot of trails have been built. They weren't just existing trails from.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple. I mean, you'll see some like the Triple Falls Trail. That's being worked on, and that's it's unsustainable right now. It's such a steep slope and a lot of erosion there. But those were old DuPont trails.
yeah.
But things like Rocky Ridge and Ridgeline that are super popular with both equestrians and mountain bikers, those were built by Friends of DuPont.
Yeah.
Along with other groups, but we like to take all the credit.
So, well, you should. I mean, so much has happened. I mean, so you're equestrian. Is there a place people park with horse trailers in that's separate from, like, right around here? Where do they get started?
No, everybody. So that's
So
one of the best things and the most challenging things about DuPont is that it's all multi-use. So horses and bikes and hikers, they can go on all the trails. They can go any direction. So really what people need to pay attention to is the yielding etiquette.
Explain how that works. I've seen those signs.
Yes. So mountain bikers yield to everyone, and when we say that, that means that you have to stop if you see a horse, and then everyone yields to horses.
Yes.
So mountain
'Cause
bikers
they're
yield to
big.
everyone. Yes.
Yes.
They're big and they have a mind of their own, and it's not always a smart mind. And you see a mountain bike 15 times one day, and next day it's a monster or something.
Exactly. And so we encourage equestrians that when you see folks on the trails that you communicate, let other users know what your horse needs. And mountain bikers, please make sure that you are telling hikers that you're coming up behind them.
Yes.
Make sure that you keep your speed to a reasonable level. So when you're coming around blind curves, you don't crashing into somebody. Like I said, I think that's one of the best things about DuPont is that it is accessible to so many people in so many different levels, in terms of hiking and mountain biking and riding horses. But it's also a challenge because there's user conflict and sometimes people aren't always nice.
Yes,
Well,
one or two bad actors can really.
We've got a solution to that, Gary. Down in Watershed, where we're from, we're a podcast from headquarters, international headquarters. We've employed this gal named Dee Dee, and she does security at Gary and Mark Podcasting University. You probably heard of that.
I have.
She's also head of insecurity,
That's right.
because
And
everybody's got security, but what about insecurity?
that's right. And she's got her own posse, female motorcycle gang,
Oh, I like it.
the Wicked Women of Watershed.
I like it.
Since everybody's volunteered, you could probably get Dee Dee and her gang to volunteer to come here and maintain the peace on these trails.
Well, they might bust a few heads.
Yeah, they don't do it necessarily, the right way, but they don't have any like body cams or anything, so they can probably get by with more stuff.
Oh,
But
I like it.
would you want us to talk to her?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
We'll give her a shout out and see if she's interested in one more job. She also works at the dollar store there in Watershed, and she's has that gang, and occasionally she even does nursing over at the Trails End Retirement Center when they need some extra help there.
Yeah.
So she's a busy person, and you're a busy person too. I can tell.
Boy, yeah, I'll bet. I got it. What about e-bikes?
Yeah. What is the deal on e-bikes?
No e-bikes in
Good.
DuPont.
Okay.
They are considered motorized vehicles.
Yeah,
So yeah, they're not allowed.
good.
So I haven't been studying all these mountain bikes go by, but they all look like they're pedaling.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But that guy in front of us probably could use an e-bike right about now. So, but
He's got a camera on.
he
us.
does. He's filming us, and I hope he's not picking up sound because that was Gary who said that last remark. If he saw that, but Well, we are going to wrap this up in just a minute. We want to thank, of course, Sarah for being here. We got something to announce to you in just a moment. But first, we better thank our other sponsors, Gary.
Big Whizz Pocket Buddy.
Big Whizz Pocket
Rabbit
Buddy.
Island Resorts.
He's getting better and better. Salute Outfitters, home of.
Big Eddie's Green River Tap Room.
You know, say that again. You may have it right.
Big Green
Could be
River
Green
Tap-
River Eddie's Big River
Tap Room. There's a big and a river.
I know, but it's all
Picture of
Salute
a fish.
Outfitters.
Yeah.
Old J. Myers and Professional White Dove Releases.
White Dove Releases.
And we've got Iron Key Brewing Company in Columbus.
Yeah.
And we have a new sponsor right now.
We do Athletic Brewing.
Absolutely.
We got
Have
a
you
free
had
beer.
one of their non-alcoholic
I actually
beers?
have some of their non-alcoholic beer in my fridge.
Well, we've got one spare can somewhere he gave us, and he said, Marco, he'd bring us some more over. We had one with them on the show,
Nice.
so that was good. So you've heard of our university, I know sometimes, and we have a treat for you, Sarah.
Yeah.
As executive director of this entire park, 12,000 acres, 1 million plus visitors, and this beautiful Forest Festival here today, we're going to make her a graduate of what, Gary?
The Gary and Mark Podcasting University with a full BS degree
Yes, BS
in podcasting.
in podcasting. We are the only university in the world where you can sign up, enroll, graduate in the same day, sometimes the same hour, and in your case, 5 minutes.
And no hefty college bill to pay off.
No bills. No, you don't even have to go to class. In fact, we hardly have classes. We hardly have buildings, but we have Dee Dee doing security.
We say education is expensive, but talk is cheap.
Talk is cheap.
Yeah.
So, to Sara Landry, we give you this certificate. Now, your
Award.
name's not on there because we didn't know which guest we were having
Yeah.
today. We can send you one with your name professionally printed on the computer. You have to print it out yourself at home.
Or for an upcharge parchment. Do we do
Well, that is one part.
That
If
is.
she takes it out of that fancy folder, that case, presentation case, she will see how nice that is. And in addition, we've got some decal for you to put on your car.
Yeah.
And yes, so it's been such a treat to get the executive director, not the whatever the next one is, sous director or something. I don't know what comes under you. Minimum.
Well, nothing yet. I'm the only employee.
Yep, there you
So,
go.
all right. We know we got some stickers in here because I just gave one out. Here we go for your car, and you can read more about. In fact, you'll see your name on the roster of graduates soon. Someone's got to get home to the home office and watershed. That may be a while, but we want to thank Sarah for being here.
Yeah, and meanwhile, if folks have questions, they can just they can go to Facebook and look at Friends of DuPont State Forest.
Yeah,
Find out if they want to be a member.
They
Yes.
should be a member. You don't even have to come here to be a member, right?
No.
It's kind of like our
No.
university. You could be a graduate. Have you ever been on campus yet?
Not yet.
And you're a graduate.
I know. It was really easy.
I know.
And I learned so much.
I'm telling you, she's a professional. Anybody, GaryandMark.com. You go online, GaryandMark.com. You can find the application, but you don't have to.
Yeah, no phone calls coming from Raleigh wanting to know about.
Not yet.
Hey, have you paid off your college loan?
That's right.
Not
Nope.
for us.
All right. Well, I'm Mark.
I'm Gary.
This is Gary and Mark Show. Been fun being here out in DuPont State Forest.
State Recreation.
State Rec, only one like it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.